Welcome to watching The Gender Dimension, what to take into account when preparing a Horizon Europe proposal. This short film aims to give you some insight into what you need to include in your Horizon Europe proposal regarding gender equality. At the end of the film and on the Swelife website, you will find a number of additional links that can help you to prepare. Gender equality is a cross-cutting priority under Horizon Europe, meaning that it is an essential aspect that must be addressed in all projects. Gender equality is therefore assessed as part of all Horizon Europe project proposals. There are 3 levels of the gender dimension you will need to consider. Firstly, to be eligible, to be considered for funding, a gender equality plan must be in place by the time the grant agreement is signed. The gender equality plan is a new requirement under Horizon Europe, and we will dedicate several slides later in this presentation to give you an overview of what it entails. Secondly, integration of the gender dimension into research and innovation projects is an evaluation criterion. This requires applicants to show how you will include and analyze sex and gender-related research and data throughout the project in all areas that are relevant. The integration of the gender dimension in the project will be assessed under the excellence criterion. And finally, the gender balance of the consortium will be taken into account during the ranking of the proposals. When writing a proposal, each person active in the project will fill in a specific researcher's table. In this table, they will also be asked to declare their gender according to 3 available categories: woman, man, or non-binary. If 2 proposals receive the same score in the evaluation, after assessing aspects not covered by other proposals, the gender balance among the key staff that are included in the researchers table in the proposal will be considered and determine project rankings. The more balanced the gender distribution among participants, the better. We will now take a closer look at the gender equality plan itself, what it is, what it requires, and for whom it is mandatory as of now. The gender equality plan is a written plan that all public bodies, research organizations, and educational institutions must declare to have in place at the application phase. And this will be a validation criterion for these organizations. It should be filled in once for each legal entity. Private for-profit organizations, small and medium-sized enterprises, non-governmental organizations, or civil society organizations are currently still exempt from this requirement. The gender equality plan can be a separate document or part of any other strategic document of your organization, as long as it fulfills all requirements of a gender equality plan. A gender equality plan is a roadmap that directs how your organization will work towards achieving gender equality. It is an openly accessible document that defines a set of actions that aim to promote gender equality at your workplace. All organizations are different, and the gender equality plan should reflect this and define measures that will work with your organization's challenges regarding gender equality. It should be linked to your organization's specific context and be co-created with the employees at all levels of your organization. To adequately answer to the Horizon Europe eligibility criterion, a gender equality plan must follow a set of procedural requirements. The European Commission also gives recommendations on what content-related areas could be part of your gender equality plan. Regarding the process requirements, the gender equality plan should be a formal public document published on the institution website for anyone to access. It should specify any dedicated resources that have been identified and allocated for the implementation of the plan. This may be any type of resource that your organization deems to be necessary. For instance, it could be funding, allocated time, or dedicated personnel, or organizational structures. To make sure that the gender equality plan is effectively implemented in your organization, it should be based on data that underlies the reason for the measures you are proposing. It should be possible to monitor progress. Annual reports should be produced on sex or gender of staff in all position levels within the organization. The gender equality plan should also present planned training and capacity building activities to tackle conscious or unconscious gender bias within your organization, including decisions made by your organization. There are also a number of areas that have been identified as essential for gender equality in research and innovation. The European Commission has made 5 non-mandatory recommendations that they consider essential for gender equality and that you may consider for the content of your gender equality plan. If and how these will be addressed can be specific to your organization. Firstly, how to ensure a good work-life balance in the workplace, and how to incorporate gender equality in your organizational culture. The plan should ideally address how a gender balance in leadership and decision-making can be ensured, as well as in recruitment and career progression opportunities. For organizations involved in research and education, the integration of the gender dimension into the content of research and teaching will be an important factor to address. And finally, what measures will be taken by your organization to counteract gender-based harassment and violence? Since the Gender Equality Plan is an eligibility criterion when applying for Horizon Europe calls, a self-declaration will be requested at the proposal stage. This will take the form of an online questionnaire listing the 4 mandatory process-related gender equality plan requirements, as well as the 5 recommended content areas. The questionnaire will be accessible through the participants' register and should be filled by the legal entity's authorized representative, or LER, once for each legal entity. The Gender Equality Plan or equivalent documents must be in place for each organization before signature of the grant agreement, which then commits the applicants to implement actions in line with their gender equality plan. Random compliance checks may be made by the EU during the project, and failure to abide by these requirements can result in the withdrawal of funding. Therefore, it is important to prepare a gender equality plan if your organization is a public body, a research organization, or an educational institution. In the end of this presentation, we have compiled some resources that may be of help when preparing a gender equality plan and when planning your project. Thank you for listening. We hope we could provide you with some insights, and please don't hesitate to contact us if you have any questions.